Welcome back as I once again try to repair a broken piece of electronics. If you watched my previous video repairing a Nintendo Switch with no power, no charge, toward the end of it I referred to having another Switch to repair, and I have worked on that one, and I did not do a full video of it because it looked like it was going to be really simple, and it reasonably was, but I probably should have still done a full video on it, so I'm just going to include it at the beginning of this video. We'll be talking about two different switches. But the second switch was some liquid damage, and here you'll see some pictures of the inside of it. I just took some stills. I'm guessing it was milk, I don't know, but it's just very splattered around the PCB in several places. Nothing major. Here you see some around some of the power management stuff. Cleaned that up with alcohol and Q-tips. Here you see the moisture indicator. It's very well telling the truth. There has been some moisture. But it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I mean, some of these, I guess, have power on them for a long time and they just cook themselves inside out. Depending on how acidic it is also, I guess. Like I'm sure soda of some type would be worse. Would really eat away at some of the traces. But this was just scattered about the board. No real rhyme or reason to it. So didn't have to disassemble it too much. Here you see that was the backlight connector and the backlight switch setting. There was no backlight in the beginning, so cleaning those, restored the backlight. Had some trouble with the power on-off switch, which was again some little bit of corrosion on the connector for the volume control power switch. And here you see the finished product working. Everything was fine. A little trouble with the Joy-Con connector side, but cleaned that up, no problems. And that brings us to switch number 3. This is another no charge, no power that I bought. So not working, but I've already, I think, located the problem. I have not opened it up yet. I'll get you a close-up of this charge port. And this is a common problem on them. There are several pins. I hope I can get you a good shot of them. It's kind of hard through the microscope. But there was at least 2 pins that just twisted around and bent all up in there. So I have not even tried to plug a charger into this with a connector in that shape. I've already ordered the connectors. I've got them here. I've never replaced one of these. It is a surface mount connector. It can be done. Whether or not I can do it, we'll find out. But I will have to remove the PCB entirely to get to this thing. So that's where we are. Now I may, just for the heck of it, try to charge the battery a little bit manually. Put a little bit of charge, try to get enough charge in it so I can power it up. I'd like to see if it will power up and act normally if I have a charged battery. I don't have one laying around. The other switches I have are sealed up. I really don't want to open them up just to get the battery out. So, but I may try to put a little charge in this battery and just to see if it's totally dead. Hopefully the battery will come back. But get enough charge in it where I can actually power it on, and it would make me feel better to see it actually come up and work, even if it won't do anything else. Even if it won't charge the normal way. So let's do that. Well, while charging the battery, I just started looking around the board a little bit, and look what I have found. This is the charge connector. And someone has attempted to replace it with a blowtorch, is what it looks like. I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, this may not be repairable at all. I mean, the traces are just gone. I mean, they stuck it back down. Looks like it's tacked. See the solder tacked on the sides there. A lot of good that was doing. So, I mean, the connector, the pins are bent up inside this connector. So this is the original connector. I'm guessing they never even got it off and realized after they had done some of this that it just wasn't going to happen. So probably have a parts machine right here, because I really don't think there's enough left there to do anything with. I mean, traces are just gone. That's the way it goes sometimes. Bad luck for me. I just wanted to show you what one of these new connectors looks like here. And this one looks like it's maybe a used one. I'm not sure if that's solder or if that's flux left on this thing, but anyway, this is how it looks out of the package I got. As you can see, there are 2 rows of pins. This is the rear one, and then there's a middle one up underneath the connector. So taking this thing off with a standard soldering iron is just impossible. You cannot get to that inner layer. And looking at that PCB, I think someone used a regular soldering iron and they desoldered the outward pins that they could see, and then went to prying on it thinking, hey, well, I want this thing come up, and they ripped the pads off the board attached to the inner row of pins. So I'm afraid that may be how this story ends. I still haven't gotten any power on this thing. It's I mean, there's like 3.5 volts getting to the power management chip, but it does not come on. But this looks like a no fix. But I wanted to show you what this connector should look like. This is a new connector. It's supposed to be new, undamaged. This is what I was going to install, and I just wanted to show you those 2 rows of pins like that. That's how it's made. They're very close pitched together. Nothing you can do with a regular soldering iron. We'll have the printed circuit board out now, and I've cleaned up the area where that USB-C connector was mounted, and it still looks pretty awful. And I've noticed something. There's something missing up here. Right here. There should be something there. I'm not sure what it was, but it's not there now. So if this board didn't have enough problems, it has even more. It has missing parts. So I really don't know what I have left that's usable here, but this is probably going to end up being a parts machine for something else going forward. So that's about all I have. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.